today. So recently I've been getting a lot into artificial intelligence and machine learning. Well, really I've been into artificial intelligence pretty much since I started programming. If you look at the PyDA project that I did, Python Digital Assistant, a couple years back.
Good evening, what can I help you with?
Web.
But basically I've been getting more into machine learning because I feel like, that's really the future. So to start off my learning process, I decided to build a simple decision tree that predicts whether or not a student will get into Stanford. Basically I chose Stanford because one, they're a really good computer science department. I mean, if you look at what Andrew Ng, I believe is how you pronounce his last name, is doing with machine learning, it's really cool stuff. And two, they have one of the lowest acceptance rates of a university in the country, unless you count like music conservatories and stuff, based on certain criteria. And those credentials were things like weighted and unweighted GPA, SAT and ACT scores, as well as number of AP classes taken, and also number of leadership roles and clubs, because something that I realize is that colleges don't care so much about whether or not you participated in a club. What they really care about is your leadership in that club. And so I got all this data from a form on CollegeConfidential.com, where basically they were just asking people if they got into Stanford or not, and then what were their credentials. And so I just gleaned that from there, put it onto a Google Sheets, turned that Google Sheets into a CSV, and then from there I inputted that as a list into my Python program, and using SciKit Learn I was able to build a basic decision tree. And then from there I used that data for SciKit Learn to basically just build a basic classifier. In order to test whether or not my classifier was actually working, what I did is I left a few of the data points unregistered in my CSV file so that I could then input them in and then see if the program would calculate whether they would get in or not correctly. And of like the 5 data points that I left out that I tested, they all worked, which was pretty good for my first classifier, but again, not perfect. Obviously I'd want to get better data, more data, and do more testing, stuff like that. Another issue with this project was that not everybody posted all of their credentials. Like some people didn't take the ACT or the SAT, for instance. And so for that, basically what I had to do was I had to determine based on their other credentials what their score would be. So for instance, if they got a 1600 on the SAT, I would just put in a 36 for the ACT, since those are both perfect scores. And again, that's by no means a professional way to go about doing this, but this was just my first time, and I only had a little bit of time to crank this out. So all the code is posted on GitHub, so you can click the link down below and check that out. And also, if you're more experienced in machine learning than me, make sure to leave any suggestions down in the comments below also, or any programming resources or free access to data sets that I might want to use as I continue learning machine learning. But yeah, anyways guys, thank you for bearing with me for this video, and I hope to see you in the next one. Peace.